So here are the cockpit lockers. This one is filled with rope. So we have lots of different mooring lines, spare sheets, and then at the back there we have two nice polypropylene floating ropes, 50 meters each, nice yellow floating rope for mooring against rocks and stuff. Down here we have lots of other bits. I think we currently have covers, because we also have covers for the tiller, the rudder headstock, all our nice hatches and a bunch of other things. So that's kind of there. Also the sail cover, for instance, things like this. Now we have two gas tanks that fit in this, and that gets vented over into the cockpit area and drains up out the sides. And then we have some more storage in here where we tend to keep wet things because it drains also down into the cockpit. And then this one that opens up and you get the whole back, the whole canoe stern space down there. In that one we tend to keep things that we need when we come to shore because it's beneath the rudder, so that would be like the hose and the short power cable and stuff. Now we have two spare anchors. We used to keep one off the back, but we moved that out of the way because we didn't find that we needed it here in the Mediterranean. But we have a CQR in there, and we have a Fortress anchor in there, both about 25 kilograms. And then I can talk about the solar arch. So here we have a brand new life raft. It's an ocean rated one. It's a very nice spec. We have our solar panel, 430 watts, that's kept us off grid since we've been on the boat. Here's our passerelle, which slots in down there, and with this stainless fitting. Also have a little space for fishing rod. We also have a barbecue down in this locker, which we can sometimes put on and attach up there and have a barbecue. Then on this side we have our outboard, which we're quite happy with. It's a 2-stroke Mercury, so it's lighter than a 4-stroke, which is really good for getting off and on the boat, and it's nice and powerful. So it gets us planing in our dinghy with both of us and some shopping, and I'm quite big, so it does a really good job. It's old, but it's cool. You can't get 2 strokes like that anymore. And that's that. Oh, I guess I can also talk about the shower. This is a nicely installed little stainless shower that we can pull out, and we usually stand on this little section here and have a shower straight into the sea for washing off after we've had a swim. So now we have the engine controls, which live in this panel, little gasketed waterproof panel, and then there's the throttle. It's quite a good position because often you tend to stand up here whilst coming in, so you get good visibility of everything and you can control it with your foot. Down here we have controls for the bow thruster, and also that's the daily tank fuel gauge, which I'll talk a bit about later in the engine room. But the bow thruster we tend to use with a remote whilst just stood up there. It's much easier. So deep down in the bottom of this locker we have a Wind Pilot Pacific wind vane, so mechanical self-steering. That's mounted, I can mount onto this bracket, stainless bracket at the back, and steer the tiller through these points. But we also have a really great pelagic electrical autopilot that's controlled here. But again, we have a remote for that, so don't necessarily need to use the control panel. But that's been really good. I mean, it's a 15-ton boat, and this thing is plenty strong enough to keep us going through any conditions. So here we are, stood by the mast. Something we've always loved about this boat is how wide these passages are, how easy it is to walk down, and also it's like a perfect space to sunbathe or find some shade also from the sails. Now we have this walkable solar panel which keeps our engine battery topped up, And then lovely butterfly hatch. And the varnish is all in good condition around here. And we also have had the coach roof repainted recently. So the mast is new from 5 years ago. It's laminated timber that's hollow, and it is very well supported with lots of standing rigging, all 10 mil, so oversized really for a mast of this size, with stainless bottle fittings. Now we have 3 reefing points on our mainsail. They come down onto this winch down by the mast, but it's so easy to access up here. It's not at all an issue. We have a Dyneema halyard that's in this old fitting, but that works really well with this nice Arkan car system up the mast, which makes rising and dropping the sail really good. We also have 2 whisker poles up here, and you can see from our roller furlers we have two guides, so that you can, say if you're in the trade winds or something, you can have 2 sails out either side with the 2 whisker poles. So here are nice dorades, and here are deck prisms, and this is the self-tacking track for the staysail, which runs back. We also have a vent for the composting heads, as well as an exhaust for a diesel heating system that used to be installed and is still ducted into the boat, but we removed it. Now, something that I hope comes across in the images is just how big this space is up here, how big and flat. You can have a table and chairs. It's a really nice place to spend time. And also, separate from this, we have a shade, which hopefully you can see in other photographs, which comes across here, and you can have up here quite strong winds, and it makes this whole place up the front, so it's taller than this one. A really lovely place to spend time. Here's our dinghy, aluminium, Mercury or Quicksilver, the Mercury brand. Solid dinghy that's 1.5 years old, and it's really unlocked the potential with this boat. It means you can go and explore things quite far away from your anchorage because it's so quick. So here I am at the bow, stood above the bowsprit. You can see nice new big roller furlers here by Admiral, and these are oversized to match the oversized roller that we have. And then down here we have the anchor, which is a 25 kilogram Rockner Vulcan. It's a really good anchor, and that's connected to 60 meters of stainless chain and an additional 60 meters of road, which is kept in the anchor locker. And you can see under here is that low Franz windlass, which is a nice big one. Here's our galley. We have a big, deep, top-down fridge. Works well. You can corner off a side and make a freezer, but we don't tend to use that. We have plates all in their spaces there, and then glasses and stuff. Everything's got little things to keep it in its place. Here we have our cutlery, a gimbaled stove, and a little bit more counter space if we need it. Just slide on top like that. And then otherwise this is all where we keep our daily food stuff. We have a sink. This is connected to a boiler, or we have this, which is pedal powered, for fresh water and salt water, so straight from our tanks and straight from the sea. Underneath us we have our diesel tanks, which are here and here, and then forward we have 2 big water tanks. I think they each hold 500 litres of water, 500 litres of... Yeah, together, 500 litres of water, 500 litres of diesel. So here we have the saloon. So this table comes down and creates a really big double bed. And we have all storage that runs all the way around, and then behind here we keep storage for cans and stuff on little poppers. We have nice original features, and these oil lamps, gimbaled oil lamps, which are lovely. We like them, having dinner and stuff. We have our wind indicator and our depth and tachometer that come down to here, so we can check them out when we're sitting inside. We also have lots of USB ports, like this little one. They're dotted around everywhere. USB-C, and lots of storage. These go really deep. And then this is, I guess, a berth for when you're underway, but we rarely use it. We more often use this one, where we have a lee cloth that runs here. Now this comes out and creates a much bigger berth, which is very nice. We also have additional solar panels, but we don't need that in the Mediterranean. We've been completely off-grid with our electricity. Under here we have drawers, and then these pull it all the way out, and then we have additional storage behind where we keep all the engine spares and bits that we use much less often. Under here we have all our tools for a daily basis. So for instance, there's all our power tools, and then on this side we have all our sanding and other bits, bolts and stuff. And then under there we keep all our paints and everything else. We've got some additional drawers down here, and then here we have made some holes to check the bolts for the chain plates. We've also replaced 2 chain plates, but we've made full set, which we haven't yet installed, but all the existing ones are in good condition. We basically found out that it was all looking good. And then here over towards the chart table. So this is a hanging locker that drains off into the bilge. So that's where we keep all our waterproofs and everything. Then we have our pots and pans storage. Well, that's what we use it for. And some little drawers down here. Classic chart table with all the bits that you'd expect, that aren't charts. And this is kind of like the office area. We've got new handheld VHF and also a barometer, electrical barometer, which is really useful. We have the original ones over there, the original ship's clock and barometer, but this electrical one sends an alarm when it thinks things are going funny. Got some more tools. We've got an EPIRB. Our safety stuff is really all really new and all really good. So it's an EPIRB with AIS. Got new, fire extinguishers. We've got the remote for the windlass. We also have a remote for the autopilot we usually keep here, and a remote for the bow thruster. On this side we have really nice Vespa Cortex, VHF, AIS, and ship monitoring, anchor drag, alarms, all sorts of things. Really clever, it's really useful. It's amazing to look at collision avoidance when you're underway. Also nice original horn. We also have original electrical panel, which I kind of love. So we've kept that. And that's about it all down here. So here are the heads. It's ventilated through a Dorade, nice old Dorade, and you get light through this deck prism during the day. So we have this basin, which is connected to a boiler, which is heated by the engine or through shore power. And then here's the shower, flick the switch and the shower works. Really good water pressure. And that goes down into a grate and into a sump and gets pumped overboard. And that's controlled by that switch there. We also have a composting toilet. Now the boat had traditional heads, and so all the plumbing is still there. Still have the black water tank and all the seacocks. But we've much preferred this one, much less trouble. So we also have lots of storage, lots of very deep storage here. And so now we're up in the V berth. Here are the 2 beds. We have 2 fans up here. which are nice and strong, keep us cool. Then we have a USB-C over there. This is the anchor locker, which is accessible through these doors. And we have a new control system, remote control, onto a low Franz windlass above. We have nice storage here. And then this is usually a bookshelf. Original brass lights, which are lovely. And good ventilation. And then this old gimbal light, which has been, or gimbaled oil lamp, which has been converted to electric. Up above, we have a nice big hatch with a fly net over it. You can see the dinghies above, but this provides a lot of ventilation and a lot of light during the day. And on this side, it's the same. We have storage drawers down here, hanging drawers up there, another light. Now under these berths, we have two spinnakers. We have the bow thruster at the front. We have a spare Yankee, and we have sail covers, as well as a separate battery for the bow thruster. Oh yes, and then back here we have this big wardrobe, a big hanging wardrobe that goes all the way back. We've got shelves behind, and lots of things in there at the moment, so I won't show you. Yeah. So now we're under the chart table seat, and you can see the new lithium battery bank. So this is separated into two, and then you have two battery monitoring systems that run through a shunt, which are shown on this monitor here. So this is charged by a battery-to-battery charger, which is Victron, as well as an MPPT, which is also Victron, from a 420 watt solar panel. So we haven't had to charge, we haven't had to use shore power really at all. And we also have Victron chargers for the separate engine battery and also a separate bow thruster battery, which is kind of useful in case one of those happens, in case one of them goes wrong, you have a redundancy. So we also have an inverter, nice strong inverter, which we can charge our computers from, which is just behind here, tucked up there, out of the way. And over here we have our tank gauges for fuel and for water, as well as our breaker panel, as well as the old breaker panel up here too. So here we are in the engine room under the stairs. As you can see, it's quite roomy. Here's our engine. It could do with the paint, but it's done about 6,000 nautical miles, we believe. But it's worked well. We've never had any problems, really. So we run the engine off a daily tank, which means it gets all fuel that gets filtered twice before going into it. So we have a water diesel separator here, and then fuel filter there. So that feeds into this tank, and then that's the meter that you read up there. So it just makes sure we get clean fuel in the engine. Here we have our boiler, which is heated by the engine, but also by shore power. We have some other things connected to shore power up here. And then here's our Victron charger, as well as our battery-to-battery charger and MPPT. And then this is our engine battery. This is a big fuse for the windlass. Otherwise, we have a bunch of pumps. We have a deck pump where we can feed from fresh water or salt water to help wash down the boat. And through here also we have an inverter, which is good enough to power even our electrical sander. And then we have, you can see through here, this is the storage for the wind vane, which is accessed from the locker through a grate. But otherwise it's all pretty well ventilated and spacious, and there's room for more things.